his career. Marcel Bartel, who goes by Ludwig Kaiser on WWE television as well as El Grande Americano, I can't prove it, but I believe it to be him, was arrested on Wednesday in Florida on a battery charge. It was not a domestic incident, and he was bonded out of Orange County Corrections in Orlando on $1,000 bail later that night. Here's the story from TMZ. WWE star Ludwig Kaiser landed in a heap of trouble after cops say he and his girlfriend could not keep their sex drives in check. Kaiser, real name Marcel Bartel, was arrested Wednesday for battery after he got physical with his neighbor inside a luxury building in Orlando, Florida, where the two men live, according to a police report obtained by TMZ. The report says the incident popped off on the night of April 23rd when the neighbor, Richard Reep, stepped inside an elevator on the 12th floor along with Kaiser and the woman he was with. As the elevator ascended, Kaiser and the woman started making out right in front of Reep, and their passion grew to an uncontrollably intimate level with their aggressive kissing, according to the report.
Start with safety, stay road ready. This month, save up to $120 instantly or get $110 back in rebates on top brands like Goodyear and Cooper. Plus, save $50 per axle on brake pads.
Uncontrollably intimate level with their aggressive kissing, according to the report. When they reached the 12th floor, both parties allegedly got off the elevator, and the neighbor told the couple to please have some manners. That comment triggered an angry response from Kaiser, who allegedly pummeled Reep and shoved him to the floor. Police say Kaiser also threatened the neighbor, who later reported the alleged assault to law enforcement. The responding officer noted observing a fresh scratch and redness on the back of Reep's head, which police stated was consistent with a recent altercation. The arrest affidavit stated that the responding officers also reviewed surveillance footage from the 12th floor, with that video allegedly showing a white male punching and pushing Reep outside the elevator at the reported time of the incident. And per PW Insider, the affidavit states that Reep subsequently identified Bartel in a 6-person photographic lineup conducted later that evening. Bartel turned himself in after a warrant had been issued. He was reportedly ordered to have no contact with the victims or witnesses and was granted one supervised return to the apartment accompanied by law enforcement. Authorities for Bartel filed a motion on Thursday morning in court requesting that he receive permission to travel freely internationally despite his arrest. The motion notes that Bartel learned of the arrest warrant against him on May 19th while he was in Mexico and immediately flew back to Orlando to turn himself in the next day. It also pointed out that he has no prior criminal record. The motion states that Bartel's job requires him to travel around the United States and internationally in order to maintain his employment. So that was quite the story out of left field. I love the uncontrollable kissing. I mean, hey, good for him. Although I guess if I was stuck in an elevator with two people who were ripping and clawing at each other uncontrollably, it would probably make me a little uncomfortable too. And perhaps I would turn to them and go, please have some manners. Actually, I'd probably just keep my mouth shut and go, hey, I give him like a little nod out of respect, and I would go about my day. But I'm not Richard Reep in this case. Now, there was an event involving El Grande Americano that was scheduled for Mexico City the other day that was canceled. And they were just going to have this, it was at the Kings League Mexico. It's a free event for about 300 fans. It was going to be like a little mini parade of sorts, I guess, for El Grande Americano. This was in conjunction with AAA. But AAA announced the cancellation on Thursday night, or of the Thursday night event on Instagram, saying the Serenata for El Grande Americano event scheduled for tonight in Mexico City has been canceled. We appreciate your understanding. And I didn't read too much into that because the man literally could not legally travel out of the country at that time. And then on Friday came this update. Court records show that Bartel's attorney has filed a supplemental version of his motion to allow out-of-state and international travel. In this updated document, it's noted that Kaiser's counsel has communicated with the assistant state attorney, and the state will not be objecting to the motion. Since the initial filing of the motion to travel, undersigned counsel communicated with Assistant State Attorney Shaylin Koch, who indicated no objection to this motion. And then came the announcement shortly thereafter that the event was back on, this time on Friday night in Mexico City, for fans to show their support for Kaiser Americano ahead of his match with Gable Americano next weekend. Now, I know that Raj Giri posted something online that I'm not even going to read here because I have no idea where he's even getting this from, as far as what the neighbor allegedly really said to Bartel to set him off. Now, I agree, it's a little suspect that the guy would tell him, please, sir, have some manners, and then he went all John Wick on his ass. Okay, it's a little far-fetched to me. It's possible, but it's a little far-fetched. It makes me feel like there was something else that was said. There has to be more to this, but we don't know, and neither does he. So I'm not going to repeat what he posted here until and unless we get confirmation from somewhere else, all due respect to Raj. But it would have been a generational fumble if this would have wound up killing his push, or if he had gotten pulled from that match next weekend, because the big mask versus mask match is set for the AAA show next Saturday, May 30th. They have been building to this match for months. This is going to be a big fucking deal in AAA next weekend. And can you imagine if this was serious enough that the match got canceled, or he got suspended, or he got fired, or he can't travel, so he can't make it to the show, and they have to come up with a plan B? It would have been a fucking disaster. And if they would have punished him for this, and there's no indication of that happening, I mean, this is still playing out in real time. We're not sure how this is going to end, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. But again, this would have been a generational fumble for Bartel. But it looks like it's full speed ahead. They were on the AAA show, both Americanos last night. They had another brawl. The heat was just off the charts. Gable, he ended up showing off a T-shirt that had a picture of Kaiser's girlfriend on it. I believe there was a stipulation where there could be no physical contact between the two until their mask match, and then they started going at it, and it's like, well, I guess fuck the stipulation. It's unreal how hot this feud is in Mexico right now and how dead it will be on Raw tomorrow night. Seriously, you watch Raw any given week, and like some of the high spots and moves when they're wrestling get a little bit of a reaction, but really, on the whole, I mean, nobody cares about this shit. Like, you watch Monday Night Raw, there's no way you watch that show and go, man, this is the feud of the year. But then you watch it play out on the AAA show, and it's like night and day. It's like you're not even watching the same thing. Gable is going to get unmasked on Saturday, and then Kaiser is going to win the AAA mega title from Dom at Triple Mania in September, especially now that we know the other big announcement on the AAA show last night is that Rey Mysterio has been named the new general manager of AAA. So it's perfect, because now Rey is going to absolutely make sure this match happens, right? He's going to have his son defending the championship at Triple Mania in a few months against Kaiser. This is the path. So long as Kaiser doesn't punch anybody else in the face between now and then. Because I'll just say this about this whole thing. We'll see how it all plays out. Again, the guy wanted to press charges. It's not over yet. At this moment, as I sit here knowing what we know, I don't see any significant fallout from this. And let's just say the guy did say something very offensive that really set Kaiser off, and he just didn't want to tell the cops. And he didn't just say, please, sir, have some manners. Then it's understandable. But you know what? You can't be putting your hands on somebody like that. You got to be smarter about that, especially being in the situation that he's in right now, where he is a public figure, he's an entertainer, and you got, security cameras and everything, and you just can't be assaulting people. I mean, we could be like, oh, well, the guy must have mouthed off to him. Well, maybe he did. But unless the guy threw fists first or put his hands on Kaiser's girl, you can't be doing that. So he'll be lucky if this just sort of goes away quietly and there's no significant fallout from it. But if something like this were to happen again, that's a whole different ball of wax. But again, there's no history of him doing this. He hasn't been arrested for this. I mean, to anyone's knowledge, he's not somebody who gets into fights or anything like this. Hopefully it's just a one-off, but I don't want to make it sound like he was necessarily in the right here either, because you can't be throwing hands on people unless they throw hands on you first.